Are there spots in Bowmanville that you used to frequent as a kid that you miss? Are there like shops that you think about when you're here and you look, or out on King Street that you
miss? We would come down to, there's a variety store by, I think Audacious is there now. I don't know what's there now, but in that there was Frank's variety store. We would come on the weekends and we could get a 10-cent ice cream. That was, we would walk down to the mill pond, go skating. My dad would come and tie our skates on. By the time he got home, I think we were practically home again. And there was also a nice toboggan hill there by the mill pond. Used to deliver papers. We did the Golden Mail. So we'd have to come down to the post office and pick up the papers. And there was the liquor store was where this library is, and then there was a housing unit just on either side. There were some dogs, there were wild dogs.
Oh wow!
Scared because we were on bikes. It was a good day when you got to the post office to pick up your papers, and the dogs didn't get you. And it's funny because Rocky would also deliver the papers.
Oh,
he has that same story.
Isn't that funny? That story about the delivering newspapers. That was your first newspaper job.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember before we had a freezer in our home, there was this store called Dykstra's, and it's down where the Oak store is down there, and they had lockers, so you could rent a locker and put your frozen veggies in until you needed them, and bring a couple bags home and put it in the freezer, in your fridge, and
So did
that's the whole thing.
I mean, that's amazing. It's like
and the milk came in a horse-drawn wagon coming down the street. I still remember.
Did they come every day?
No, they came maybe once, maybe 2 times a week or something. But you had the milk bottles with the tokens inside that indicated what kind of milk you wanted and how much. And I think there was money in the bottle as well to pay for it.
Isn't that amazing? And they had the little like cubbies in the houses, right?
Yeah,
Because I see that. You still see those stories.
Orono was a provincial forestry station at one time, which was the major employer there. There was a big tract of land where they grew seedlings for distribution across our temperature zone.
Okay.
And that that ceased mid-1990s.
Okay.
There was a huge employer in town. There was a lot of seasonal work, but it was the major employer in town. So that all dried up. And then there was Curve Ply was also it was an industry. They made furniture. Then they closed. So there were 2 major industries in town that closed, and that changed the whole dynamics of the town. So there were like couple hardware stores downtown. There was a lumber yard, grocery stores, gas station, car repair. It was a thriving downtown core. It wasn't big, but every commercial space was something. And then that all started changing, right? We lost our hardware store, the big box store phenomenon also. The guy that ran the hardware store said he couldn't keep operating on the drips and drabs that people forgot to buy at Home Depot, right? So that kind of thing. And then the grocery store couldn't compete, and they didn't have the turnover in the groceries anymore. So in the deli went the meat, so that, and then it ended up closing as well. So almost always in a bit of a shift. We're on private septic systems, so we're not allowed to grow. That's another restraint. There was a time people were really upset about that, but the older people that remember when Orono was a thriving little village aren't there anymore by and large, and the new people have come in and are just thankful that it's a sleepy little town. They can walk their kids to school, and there's a whole different change in that too.
Right.
A lot of young families, and like I said, they're so happy that they feel it's a very safe place to be. They grow up, for the children to grow up, they can walk uptown, they can walk to the library, they can just go walk down the Orono Park, and it's a beautiful park. And creeks running right behind Main Street, a lot of green space, a lot of trails.
So in some ways, it feels like going back in time a bit to move to Orono.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
I think there might have been. I think a lot of the trees that were planted in Ganaraska might have come from like that was a wasteland at one time. Like when Hurricane Hazel came through, and they realized that all the sand was all the soil was eroding, and they needed to plant. So maybe I have a feeling many of those trees did come from the forestry station that they planted out there.